So a lot of people, even myself included, I have been running now for seriously, like really taking running seriously. And I actually use the Nike Run Club app. I've been running seriously now for probably about a little over a year. And I'm talking about like, I built myself up from 1.5 mile runs to 2 mile runs to 3 to 4 to 5 to 7 to 10. 10 is the furthest that I've ever been able to do. And, that's always like, that's a rare feat for me. Like, I haven't done that in a long time. But one of the secrets to me running is that I try to make it a very conscious activity, meaning I am cognizant of the way that my body is moving while I'm doing it. So what parts of my body are like actually like jiggling and moving? And in some respects, most women would think of like parts of their body jiggling and moving as like oh my God, I don't want to feel my fat like jiggling and moving. I don't want to feel that. But here's the thing. When you're running, you do actually want to feel that, because that is you shaking up the entire core of your system and really getting a well-rounded cardiovascular exercise, which you are also engaging your body, engaging your back, engaging your core, engaging your shoulders, your arms, even your face. You can actually slenderize your face just by engaging when you run. Let your face shake, bro. Like, you might be like, oh, I want to run and I'm supposed to look like this. No, like, just let your body engage the entire act of running. And, I'm very conscious about the way that my feet hit the ground. I try to not put too much impact, even mentally, on my body, so that my body, because really when you are running, there is a shock that your body is taking in, because your feet are hitting. It is unnatural for your feet to be hitting the ground, the pavement, which is so rough. It is pretty unnatural. And that's for me, because right now I'm running outside. I'm not running in the grass. I'm running like on the cement, and more times than not, the concrete is not always, it's definitely not even. So, you get what you get. But it is not technically natural for your body to be absorbing the shock of the entire weight of your system hitting the pavement. Smack, 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 smack. So I try to be cognizant of the fact that it's going to happen, but perhaps lighten my feet when I hit the ground. And that also allows for me to lessen any ankle impact that may occur while I'm running, which could give me like ankle injuries. And just also paying attention to my knees when I run. If my knees start to feel impacted, maybe, mentally and then physically absorbing, more of the impact of the run throughout the rest of my body. I definitely take an aspirin post, just one. And that helps with, and not an ibuprofen, but specifically an aspirin, that helps with, keeping the blood loose, no clotting, and also, just less inflammation. And I do not drink any water before or during my runs. And I normally, carb load, after a run. So yeah, there goes some helpful hints for you if you have been thinking about running. And if you can get something like a sweat belt or something like that, where your body can release more water, that's always helpful. And yeah, you just got to make sure that you are water reloaded. So this week, first of all, are you okay? Because I don't want to just get into the rigmarole of the remainder of the show and not definitely check in on you. You know, for those of us who, okay, Gail, I think that shit is finished. For those of us who think that, it's difficult to get through something like this, and there's been a lot of distance perhaps between you and some folk, I definitely know that this time is interesting to show you, kind of what your needs are and who you've been needing. And I definitely want to say to niggas out there, if you have not checked up on a person that you've been seeing or talking to or were talking to before any of this started, if someone has ghosted you during this process, keep them ghosted. Keep them ghosted. Like, if they haven't checked up on you. Now, I'm not trying to be like Karuchi Tron and Karuchi. I don't need to say her whole name. And what's that guy that she goes out with? Vic. What is Karuchi's man's name? I don't remember her name. His name, Vic. Anyways, but her and her man are on the phone, on the FaceTime 20 hours a day because they cannot be with each other during the pandemic. That's wild to me. I don't need to talk to anybody for 20 hours a day. Like, for those of you who are not with your significant others, how are you navigating this? And for those of you who are not, have you just decided to blow caution to the wind and just be with your person? And you guys just see each other 'cause whatever, I mean, I think it's interesting because the amount of time that someone has, right now will greatly differ. I know a lot of us are asking for everything to open back up and go back to normal. But when things do go back to normal, for those of you who have been, spending more time with your significant other and things go back to normal, I wonder what that will be like. That should be interesting. And I think for those of you who have not seen your significant other at this point, can you even call them that? I mean, unless you guys are FaceTiming 20 hours for the day, which is really, really, really crazy. In other news this week, so the white women are upset by being called the K word. Oh yes, that K word, Karen. Now, I saw this little meme going around, not meme, but I don't know what this is, one of these things that people make and whatever. I seen this thing going around where it said, "Stop saying Karen." Karen is a sexist and racist term equivalent to the N-word for white women. Calling a woman Karen is an attempt to get rid of women's rights to stand up for themselves. Now, then it goes on further to say, yes, the K word is stronger than the N word, at least currently. Misogyny and patriarchy have been around longer than slavery. Just don't use either. Now, I'm not someone who is going to use the word Karen unless prompted, if you're acting like a Karen, then I'm going to call you a Karen. And I know a lot of black Karens, you know what I mean? Some of the older dolls get to acting like Karens too, until they realize that their calls to the police go unanswered. But they get to complaining and get to, being haughty about their egotistical rights. whatever. Listen, white women, I want to choose my words carefully because I don't love all of y'all. But for those of you with the good sense that God gave you, I could see how Karen being something that would be integrated into popular culture as a term, just much like Becky and how Becky is now used as a term of a sexual term as well as a term used to describe a white girl. But I think that it's different when you take a name and you subscribe meaning to it versus nigger is not an actual person's name. And using that term is calling me outside of my name. Karen is a person's actual name. And there are behaviors associated with that name. So Karen can't be a derogatory term. Just don't act like a Karen. Nigga is not somebody's name. So calling me a nigga, you calling me out my name outright. That's not a person. You guys defined what that was. I didn't listen, Karen is a person. Now she started acting a particular way and there you go. Boom, there you have it. White people been calling black girls Laquita and, LeBron. I hope I ain't saying nobody's name. No shade, no tea. But I'm saying y'all been calling black women out their name. Jamal. You guys been calling black people out using names to ascribe some sort of connotation in terms of our behavior or our adjacency to being quote unquote ghetto, which is a Jewish term, not a black term, but you guys just started ascribing it to black and brown people living in impoverished areas when in actuality it's more about Jewish people. That's where the term ghetto came from. But at any rate, the point is that y'all can't, you're entitled to be upset about whatever you want to be upset about. But girl, you got bigger fights to fight. Karen is the biggest thing you got to worry about? Karen? Me calling you Karen, does that take away from your economic potentiality? Does that take away from the fact that you're still seen as this individual, beautiful snowflake that cannot be touched? Does it take away? It don't take away. So, bye, girl. Oh, what else is going on out here? This has been a huge music week, right? We'll get to music in a minute. Are you guys excited? Insecure has been renewed for season 5, which is pretty exciting. So far this season has been building. Can someone explain to me, and I know this is like a weird transition, but can someone explain to me why Keeping Up with the Kardashians is not coming back until September? The fuck? Y'all think y'all a real show now? Y'all think y'all taking the summer off? Keeping Kardashians come on all year the fuck around, okay? And now all of a sudden, you fucking bitches need time off? Get out my face. I really don't know what's happening out here in this world, but 2020 is okay? So you guys, did you guys see this post this week? There was a post that went viral from a guy named Kev Coke 6. In the post, he posted a picture of him graduating from law school, which is a huge accomplishment for anyone, but specifically for himself as a black male. The post goes on in the post, he goes on to talk about how black women outnumber black men by 2 million, and that he is now part of an illustrious group that is now considered the prize. He goes on to cite different statistics, such as Black women typically